Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. Today I'm going to be teaching you and showing you how you can go from boring vanilla graphics to a massive modern 2024 overhaul. Unless of course you prefer vanilla graphics, but I'm pretty sure no one does at this point. But if not, keep watching this video because you're going to love these mods. There is two quick disclaimers I want to give. First one is this is not going to be very FPS light, otherwise this would not be a modern overhaul, like at all. And the second part is, most of these are easy to install, but maybe one or two does require a little bit of skill. So with that out the way, let's dive right in. Oh, and also, make sure you hit that like button down below. We're firstly going to start with just a simple environmental mods that everyone should be grabbing if you want to follow this guide. And yes, we're going to start off with big, even though it is simple. Most people might recognize these at first glance, but if you don't, then these trees are from the popular mod Nature of the Wildlands. I generally avoid this tree overhaul. I was never really a fan of it, but that was only because I was kind of forcing myself not to be a fan of it because of the huge FPS drops, especially when I had my shadows above 8,000. But after some experimenting and optimization, I absolutely love this tree overhaul. Nature of the Wildlands overhauls every biome in Skyrim with new trees that really fit the area. The only unfortunate part about this mod is these aren't Seasons of Skyrim compatible. So if you want to use that, I highly recommend Overhaul, which is a great alternative, just not very optimized at all. This is the tree mod honestly you'll see in about 60% of Wabbajax, with the other 40% probably being Fable Forest, and both are great tree mods, so pick your poison. But if you want the perfect grass to go with this tree mod, you're going to need Nolvus Grass Mashup. This uses a mashup of quite a few grass mods like Falkreath or Vadosbron, and even Cathedral 3D Pine Grass, which is actually meant for the seasons versions of this mashup, but this is the non-seasons version. Setting this one up can be a little complicated, having to ESL flag all the grass mods for people that don't know how to do it, so Nolvus can win, but it's worth it once you see the end results. Just like trying to set up Northern Roads by JP Steele, you can honestly get away with just these three mods: Northern Roads, Nolvus Grass Mashup, and Nature of the Wildlands, and be good to go with the graphical overhaul. Northern Road pretty much removes all the stone walkways from the roads that you see and makes it pure dirt in most areas. I mean, you may still see some stone in some areas, but for the most part it's mainly dirt, and that's the best part because now it is parallaxed. But it also does so much more, like adding new bridges to Skyrim and also adding clutter to the roads that go great with the next mod, by the way. The next mod you're going to want to pair with this is Lux Via, because of course Lux Via is an absolute essential mod in any mod list, at least the ones that hope to have good looking interiors, which require Lux, which I didn't include in this mod list. If you want cities and interiors, I can do that next. Lux Via and Northern Roads pretty much do the same things, adding clutter to the road and overhauling bridges around Skyrim, but it's a good thing they have a patch collection to make them work together, otherwise I'd have to pick between the two. And it would most likely be Lux Via. But up next we have Shrubbery Symphony. This mod uses base object swapper to replace the plants around Skyrim with new 3D models. The reason why this is so great though and why it's a must have is because of how optimized these are compared to other 3D plant replacers. So you really should experience little to no FPS effect no matter what system you're on, depending on how well you actually have your list set up. But while we're on the subject of 3D models, a perfect mod to pair with this is Skyrim 3D Rocks. This replaces a lot of rocks around Skyrim, not all of them unfortunately. I think Matthew actually gave up on this some time ago, but it replaces enough rocks around Skyrim that you'll definitely notice the difference. There is a gray version of this if you want, but I keep it the base color because it goes well with the next mod, which is called Rapid Rocks. Now this one is one of the ones I'd say you can skip. It's very rare you'll find yourself looking at any Rapid Rocks in Skyrim if you even knew that was a thing, but in the off chance that you do, this will save your eyes from looking at anything terrible Bethesda left in. This one also has a gray version, but the reason I keep them normal is because they go great with the Atlantean Landscapes, which is my most basic retexture for my landscapes. Even though Atlantean hates losing to other textures, it's one of the best complex parallax all-in-one retextures that you can find on Nexus. And even though I say all-in-one, this is strictly landscapes, no cities or animal retextures unfortunately. If you want an all-in-one, then you probably want to try Skyrim 2020. That one does a lot more than I think it's supposed to. But the best part about Atlantean Landscapes is it just feels like it was made for Northern Roads. Not sure if it was made with that mod in mind, but it definitely looks like. And now we just got some mods I feel like I had to mention, which is the Orc Strongholds series. In most overhauls of Skyrim videos, you never really see these get mentioned too much, and it's kind of for good reason, I'll be honest. These are far from FPS friendly. And that's basically because it adds so much to these Orc Strongholds basically turning them from a 3-person large home to a small village. But if you can handle it, you're 100% going to want to grab these overhauls. I'm on a 3070 and without upscaler I probably have around 40 to 50 FPS with these. Just like I said, they're going to be very heavy, but trust me, if you want to completely overhaul your Skyrim, then this is your go-to. I'll do a more FPS friendly one next if you guys want, but the purpose of this video is to go for the ultimate graphical overhaul and throw FPS caution to the wind. These do come with patches for Lux and Lux Orbis and pretty much everything else that could affect these places, except maybe Spaghetti's Orc Stronghold if you do happen to use that, because I mean Spaghetti Orc Stronghold pretty much does what this does but on a much smaller scale. It doesn't really do much besides just adding some small add-ons to the area, but this is a true overhaul, and your PC is definitely going to feel it. But honestly, there's only really 4 of these and you're not really going to be around them too much, so I don't think it's much of an issue, especially if you happen to be using FrameGen and got it working correctly. There is one forgotten orc camp that didn't really get overhauled, but then again, the mod author is working on the second version of these overhauls, so it's either going to make it FPS friendly or it's going to make my PC catch on fire. Either one is fine with me. Because we also have to overhaul Ivarstead with the mod Thuldor Ivarstead. This overhauls Ivarstead, giving it its Cities of the North type of look if you happen to have used that mod before. So if you happen to love that mod also, you're going to love this. It's probably the best Ivarstead overhaul to exist on Nexus in my opinion. But if you do love great cities, no shame to you, I just wasn't a fan of it. This mod overhauls every single interior in Ivarstead and every home as well, so you don't have to worry about weird glitches either. So I think that's also a great part of this mod. Of course, since we grabbed Thuldor Ivarstead, it wouldn't be the same without Nightgate Inn Revived. This mod massively changes up Nightgate Inn, and it's completely compatible with Cutting Room Floor, which 99% of everyone uses nowadays. Which, if you aren't getting the hints, is the small houses around the inn. You won't get that with this mod. But the great part about this mod, besides just massively overhauling the exterior of the inn, the interior was also massively overhauled. My only disclaimer is do not add this make game, because anything that's on a rabbit hook or whatever is hanging up will stretch about 1,000 miles to the north, so you have been warned. So let's get the small locations add-ons going. Next up we have Half Moon Mills, Cities of the North add-on. This, just like the title suggests, overhauls the area in an FPS friendly way I might add, making it blend in with Cities of the North type of look. And it really has a Nordic feel to the place. The best part about this mod and the next mod, which is called Anga's Mill Cities of the North add-on, is the fact that these two both have huge patch collections. Because trust me, with city overhauls like these, you're definitely going to need a patch collection. And the best part is that these are all automatically selected for you. All you have to do is just click reinstall and then just spam click through everything. But some of them do make you read a little bit, otherwise it won't install any patches, but I mean it's perfectly fine. Sometimes reading is necessary. Unless reading is a deal breaker for you, then that's a big issue. But the whole reason we're overhauling them to look like Cities of the North is because we're actually using Cities of the North. Most people say Cities of the North Falkreath is just too big and empty, and I can actually agree with that, at least partially. That's why I went and added tons of trees to it with the mod City Trees, which has a patch for Cities of the North Falkreath, so there's really no reason not to use this now. Unless you just hate the textures, which is also a complaint I've heard about this mod, but you can't win everything. Because aside from my shadows looking a little weird from far away, everything about this place with the new lush environment, the trees just pretty much taking over everything, just kinda screams Elder Scrolls 6. Whenever we get that, hopefully before 2050, honestly. But Falkreath is one of the more simple overhauls. The one I really wanted to show you was like my Dawnstar, where I use Cities of the North Dawnstar of course, but I went even further and added Expanding Towns and Cities by Arthmore. I feel like I just said his name wrong, but most people kind of have a vendetta with that mod, but mixing these two, which have a compatibility patch most people don't know about in the collection, has kind of made my Dawnstar absolutely stunning. These two mods combined has completely transformed the way I look at Dawnstar with the new NPCs, the dock overhaul, and so much more. Which is why I had to take it a step further and do the same to Morthal, combining Cities of the North Morthal with the Expanded Towns and Cities. I will say these have a patch collection, but the low order does matter a lot to prevent small issues. You can definitely ignore the issues, but I'm picky. The main reason I even installed ETAC was because of the Rorikstead add-on, but once I saw that it was compatible with Cities of the North, I had to have the setup, and it works flawlessly now. This is one of those that, now that it works, I would never remove it, unless it breaks my game, but we're good to go for now. So just one more small add-on mod to complete your environment you have to have is unique border gate fixes. Make sure you grab the fixes version, the original one doesn't work anymore. But this mod changes those vanilla borders. Before it was kinda just an invisible wall with trees around it, and it made it look cinematic like you can keep going. But instead you got hit with a word saying you cannot go this way. Now it's actually closed gates, or at least it looks like they could be closed at any time to fit your immersion. Of course they are set up to currently fit the current situation in Skyrim, so some will be destroyed while some will just be peaceful and still have people crossing the border in and out. And that's kind of the best part about this mod, not every border is just copy and paste. But that was pretty much it for today, guys. I tried to keep this as simple and short as possible. I have so many more mods I wanted to introduce to you. But if you enjoyed this video and want a full guide, or maybe an FPS friendly version, let me know down in the comments. But as of right now, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace and love, guys.